Happy Friday. Hope you all having a great Friday, wherever you are, whatever time it is, and hope you're thriving, yeah, healthy, prosperous. Most of all, well, I do hope you're free, but most of all, I hope you're doing good things. And if that's not the case, well, then I hope you get to be in that state sooner rather than later. Now, before I get on with it, just want to mention I'm going to be talking about things that I don't always talk about in this video. But yeah, I do. I mean, I cover these topics a lot, but not usually in this angle. And this angle is kind of more a little bit for fun, but also some serious observations in a broader market perspective. So we're going to start off with Bitcoin, and we're now approaching the end of the year, and I think it's safe to say at this point that we can firmly announce here that Bitcoin is the crypto of the year. Once again, why is that? No shocker there. It's not just because of the price, right? It's because Bitcoin has shifted the entire financial marketscape in many ways. Now, it hasn't yet replaced the dollar or the euro or the pound or any leading currency, but it is a significant enough factor that it is one of the top 10 held assets in the world. And moreover, it has shifted the entire conversation, right, about the future of the financial industry, right? For years and years, how long have I been saying, the old first they ignore you thing? I've been telling you guys since 2017, really, but 2020, it was very well confirmed by then. I was saying in 2017, we were in the then they fight you stage, and shortly after, right, well before the little dump we had in March of 2020, right, before we had that halving, because it was already priced in essentially, we were already in the then you win stage. How do we know that? Why? Because by then, Congress had already been capitulating to Bitcoin and trying to find ways to regulate it. What does that really mean? That means they want a piece of it. Congress only wants a piece of something when they see that they have a thing to take, right? If you invent some new fang-dangle doodad, no matter how cool it is, if it's not generating substantial revenue that's worth them taking a piece of, they usually ignore it. Right? They ignored the web for the first several years, and then little old me went to Congress with my partner, my business partner, well, the guy who ran the lobbying group, who was the president, that was the executive VP or whatever, and we testified before Congress in the first ever webcast in Congress about the importance of e-commerce. No joke. It was the first ever discussion about e-commerce and a live webcast on NBC or CNBC or whatever they ran it on before I think the Senate Judiciary Committee, talking about FTC, FCC, all these different organizations that were involved in figuring out how the internet and e-commerce would impact the economy. We're talking like mid-late 90s, I think 1997. And sometime between 96 and 98. I forget what year exactly. Might have been 96. I really don't remember at this point. It's written down somewhere. You can search it on Google. But yeah, we went and did that, and lo and behold, the internet economy exploded, went nuts. For a few years, it was a really crazy booming market, and when the bubble was about to burst, which I've been calling a long time before it did, saying it's getting there, we're going to see a burst sometime around, and I even said starting in late 2000, like September, October, start to see some crazy things. And sure enough, that is when things went to heck a little bit, started to be going down. And by September 11th of 2001, obviously the whole world changed, and a lot of markets continued to go down. And we saw that little .com bubble bursting, kind of culminating some months after that time, and then begin to rebuild the whole web economy, and then eventually get to Web 2.0, and then eventually we got to Bitcoin. Thanks, Satoshi. And by 2008, Bitcoin was the next new doodad that Congress and all the authorities were ignoring. It was a hobbyist device, collector's item for geeks kind of thing. It's just digital signatures. They mean nothing. Right. Well, they mean nothing, but people are buying and selling them right now for $100,000 a piece. And what's more, if you're going to compare it to the tulip mania, as I always say, keep in mind the tulip mania really lasted 1 year. Yeah, there was some buildup, there was some fomenting of it. You could argue it had a 4-year span of time from beginning to complete end. And the last 2 years was like, the buildup and then the explosion. But really, the mania itself was 1 year. Bitcoin's now going on 16 years. Don't you dare call this a tulip mania. It has zero comparison value. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Robert. I wish you well, man. I sympathize. And I hope you and yours know no more sorrow, and that she lives well in your memory, in your heart, and in your mind. And the actions you take to memorialize your mother. So sorry for your loss. Really, my heartfelt sympathies go out to you, man. Please accept my condolences. I mean that sincerely. Okay. And so yeah, and that's a tough one, right? I can definitely relate to that. I lost my parents also, and unfortunately, one of them was also related to cancer. One of them wasn't, but it was related to. Well, it doesn't matter. But it's unbelievable. You go to a hospital, you're sick for one thing. They treat you, you get better, and before they release you, you catch a disease in the hospital that is only present in hospitals, and that's what takes you out in the end. Unbelievable. And in a hospital that specializes in that specific disease. Like, it's just, the world is nuts, man. Anyway, so Bitcoin is now 16 years running, and it is not a tulip mania. It is far, far from a tulip mania. It has way more value than a tulip, right? Yeah, tulips are wonderful. They're beautiful flowers. Yeah, everyone should enjoy them. But it's a flower. You just plant seeds and grow more. It's not a limited amount. Keep planting seeds. As long as there's water on Earth, you can grow more tulips. No problem. But what value does it have? Right? What goods can you exchange with it? What art can you tokenize? What property can you tokenize with tulips? Right? It's an offensive comparison made still only by the most ardent of anti-Bitcoiners who are really just butthurt that they missed the boat. What they don't get is that they haven't really missed the boat entirely, because what are they going to say when it reaches 1 million or 5 million or 10 million or 100 million? And if you don't think it ever reach that, think again. It definitely can. Now, it may seem insane now to say, well, how can a $100,000 asset be worth $100 million? Bro, it's gone up more than 14, 15 billion percent, like 14 billion percent, literally, from zero to over 100 grand. You don't think it can rise another million times? Or another, whatever, 100,000 times even? It absolutely can, right? So 100,000, times 1,000. It only has to go up 1,000x to get 100 million, right? That's not a lot. I mean, it seems like a lot. Sure, it is. But again, a year, at the start of 2023, end of 2022, Bitcoin was 15 grand. It's 100 grand now. So keep that in mind. Last thing I want to mention is the AI of the year. Right? I'm hereby presenting the first one for this will probably be an annual thing. May as well start the tradition with the crypto of the year and the AI of the year. And I'm not Time Magazine, so I'm not going to be using their methods of consideration, qualification, impact, and all that stuff, because really their evaluation boards are ridiculous. So I'm not going to use those. But I'm going to say that the 2024 AI of the year is, drumroll please, ChatGPT. I know. It's already in its third year since the release. Why does it matter? It's not the newest, it's not the fastest, it's not the best. I know. But it still has the most significant impact in the conversation. It has the most significant impact in the culture about AI. Even though it's a large language model, it's not really true AI. But that's what people are calling it. And like it or not, and I know many people don't, for a lot of different reasons, ChatGPT is the AI of the year. So there you go. There you have it. Maybe we'll have a better candidate next year. Talk to you guys later. Cheers.